Hello, welcome to Friday Night Lights with Rob, Tom and Ethan. This Friday, we're talking about factions, teams, men that are friends with each other. I haven't got any other words for it. Just factions in general, our favourite factions. I don't really know. I mean,
best gangs.
We're just best gangs of lads.
Best gangs of lads.
Yeah.
I've always wanted. Alright, there might be no answer to this, or there might be a general answer to this. What's the difference between a faction and a stable?
No,
I don't think there is a difference.
There's no difference.
It's another word for it, Rob.
Is a stable there's like
Well,
up
keep
to
horses,
four and
mate.
then more than
Stables
four?
where they keep us.
Is it like in America where you're only a serial killer if you've killed more than 3 or something?
I don't think it's like that.
Is there a
Rob.
number
I think
on
there's a bit
it?
of a difference between serial killers and wrestling people.
Well,
I think,
is there?
I think they've only started really calling it a faction recently, haven't they? It used to always be like,
I always
oh,
used to know.
stable.
I always
Stables.
looked at it as like a tag team was 2 or 3, a stable was 4 or more. Maybe a faction is just the same word for a stable.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
guess.
Maybe.
I mean, if you googled it, I'm sure they'd give you a thesaurus of words.
Stable mate.
Stable mates. Yeah. I guess stables are massive parts of wrestling. Because when you look back over time, you don't really think of maybe one wrestler or like there's iconic moments in wrestling. So you think of Hulk Hogan, or you think of The Rock, or you think of Shawn Michaels, but you would always kind of come when you think of an era of wrestling, you think of a team or a
group.
stable.
Yeah. Especially in the 90s, like that's
That
when it
was
seemed to
that was the
explode.
time for
Yeah.
them. But again, going back as far as the Four Horsemen and that kind of stuff, and I mean, there's obviously numerous iterations of the Four Horsemen,
I
but
suppose when you think about it, it's a super easy way to push merch because if you're in a stable, you'll get a uniform, like a T-shirt or a bandana or a band or something, and everyone will go, oh, I support this stable, I'm going to buy that T-shirt. It's a really easy way to make a T-shirt iconic or a design iconic. Just have it in a stable.
It's easy.
It's just gang warfare, really.
Absolutely.
They're
Not
really
pick a
big
side.
on the sort of team thing in Japan. They're
massive.
really big
Massive.
on that.
Absolutely.
Where they
There's
even went in,
quite a lot of them.
if someone is having like a match and they sort of on their website they'll have so and so versus so and so, and it'll say, let's say Marty Scurll, it'll say Marty Scurll Bullet Club,
Formerly.
formerly Bullet Club, the Elite against Will Ospreay, stuff like that, and then they even did
Will Ospreay
Chaos.
against- there you go.
They did one recently with Jericho where he just said Jericho, no team.
Fozzy.
Team Fozzy.
Chris Jericho. Fozzy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at some stables or factions.
I mean, I suppose
I
like
keep saying stables, but we're calling the episode factions. Let's look at some
whatever.
factions.
Yeah, stable/factions. I mean, the ones that come to mind, like Rob's, you've got a couple of lists of like great stables, but I suppose like to
Rob loves a list.
you love a list.
I
To
do
rattle off
like
the
a
few
list.
biggest ones, you're probably looking at like NWO, DX, Four Horsemen, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
But I suppose
Bullet
we're
Club
looking
more
at-
recently.
Yeah, like they're probably the biggest faction / well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in a bit of flux at the minute, but they're still their T-shirt's the big one. Like if you're
Mhm.
part of a club, you're part of the Bullet Club, that kind of thing. So yeah, run us down, Rob. Give us a few examples.
So recently WWE did a bit of a greatest faction tournament where they had over 40 of factions in there.
Of course he did.
We'll have a little bit of a rundown on them. Some of the sort of matchups, I'm using inverted commas here, but you can't see it, but matchups that they had were like the Hart Foundation versus the Von Erichs,
Right.
which they
I
chose.
mean, me and Ethan haven't seen any of this list really.
So I'll
we're
run you down.
Coming at it with
I'll
fresh
run you
eyes.
down it. So the Hart Foundation versus the Von Erichs.
Who won that? Got to be Hart.
Hart Foundation,
Yeah,
I'll do that one.
yeah.
The New Day against the Spirit Squad.
Spirit
Oh.
Squad for me all day long.
I mean,
Fucking love the Spirit Squad.
Yeah, but they're going for like greatest, aren't they? That's it. New Day's
New
playing
Day,
that
New
one.
Day
Well,
whatever
obviously,
they
New
are.
Year's no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna guess who's winning. I'm just saying.
Hey,
like, I
all right.
prefer-
Well, we're playing different games.
All right,
then.
well, let's, who you
Alright.
personally prefer?
Yeah.
Right, who we prefer?
Prefer.
Okay, Spirit
Prefer.
Squad.
Okay, so League of Nations and against the Brood.
Oh, the Brood, mate. That theme
League of
song.
Nations.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
stop! Don't be that
No,
guy.
come on, the
That
Brood
theme
were
song.
brilliant.
But I quite like the League of Nations for
All
who was
right
in
then.
them.
Do
No, you ain't got to
whatever
agree
you
with me,
want.
mate. We're not in
I
fucking
know, but it's just
school.
wrong.
All right, okay, that's fine.
Okay, the Wyatt
So
family.
the Brood won that one.
The
eh?
Brood went through that.
Of course, yeah. Okay.
The Wyatt family and the Dungeon of Doom.
White
Oh,
family.
mate.
Wyatt family.
I'm sorry, it's Dungeon of Doom.
I
Taskmaster.
Why the
Kevin
Wyatt family were
Sullivan.
brilliant.
Who?
Mate, it's not hot.
I
I don't remember any of that
I
garbage.
know they were, but I don't remember
Mate.
the fucking Dungeon of Doom. Christ.
Oh, mate, I love the
One
Dungeon of
awful. Were
Doom.
they like BDSM guys?
They were like Satanists, weren't they?
Satanists,
Of course
yeah.
they were.
Kevin Sullivan, yeah.
Incredible.
Mate,
Who
he's a
won
pretend
that one?
Satanist.
Wyatt family.
Well, yeah, I mean, probably, yeah.
As expected.
4 Horsemen versus the $1 Million Corporation.
Nah, it's the Horsemen.
Yeah, it's obviously the
One of the greatest factions of all time.
Against the $1 million.
Against Andre the Giant and the $1 Million Man.
And Virgil and IRS.
Wrestling superstar Virgil.
Fantastic team.
Raven's Flock against the Mean Street Posse.
Oh, the Flock.
Ooh.
That's a bit like Quadrophenia. It's like a little mods and rockets thing going on.
I'd go Flock, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Their Flock went through that. JBL's Cabinet and the original New World Order.
Oh well, it's the original New World Order.
Obviously.
That's not a fair matchup. That.
No, who's chose these? Are these random? I hope they're random because there's no way.
I don't know how they've chose the matchups.
It's wrestling, mate.
But
it's all predetermined.
It's all predetermined.
What they've done is they've said, "Well, this is who's going to win.
Yeah,
Let's work it back now."
In the first ballot, we've got NWO
like
versus D-Generation X. Who's going out?
It's like magic. It is. It's like this is the finish of the the show. How do we get there?
They've structured it like a match.
Of course they have.
Here's the finish.
So why don't they put like DX against NWO? Make it a fucking challenge to choose somebody like that.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
The Freebirds against the Corporation, and the Corporation went through on this one.
Ridiculous because it's the Freebirds.
The
big
Freebirds
sexy
like,
Texans.
Yeah, Freebirds.
One of the original great factions.
Yeah, they brought factionism. Is the factionism a word? They brought
very close to another word.
They brought fascism into wrestling. I mean, they did carry the Confederate flag around quite a lot. So
yeah, but a different time.
Different times. You induct New Day into the Hall of Fame, and it's fine. It's all forgotten about.
Okay, we'll move on.
Under the bridge.
We'll move on to the other side of the bracket.
Just one side.
D-Generation X against the Right to Censor.
Well, it's Right to Censor.
Right to Censor for me. Yeah, definitely.
Mate, I had a mate when we played SmackDown versus Raw. He'd always set his creator character's theme song to the Right to Censor entrance theme, which was just a bunch of car alarms going off.
That was all it was.
The Alliance against the Union.
The Union?
I've never even heard of the Union. Well, the Alliance is going through that one because we've never heard of the Union.
Let me have a Google.
Are they talking about like the Confederacy versus the Union?
I'm
going back to Civil War times.
I'm worried.
I mean, they were a faction.
I'm worried.
The Union.
Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler.
I never heard of the Union.
I've never heard of him. Okay, the Ministry of Darkness against Blue World Order.
Oh, BWO, mate. The Blue Meanie, they done JBL right in.
So I googled the Union, and the Corporation was the first link that showed up.
That's strange.
Anyway. Oh, hang on. The Union Pro Wrestling Fandom. Vamp. The Union was Ken Shamrock, The Big Show, Test, and Mankind.
I've never heard of that.
Is Test still alive?
No.
They started in May 3rd.
That Twitter account, though. It's Test.
Oh, okay.
It's Test till dead. That's it.
Right. Okay.
That
butchered that one, boys.
May 3rd, 99. They debuted and disbanded in June 99. So had a big run.
Big run. 3-week run.
They've struggled to find right.
So May 3rd, June 7th is when it ended.
Who can we have these up against? Well, remember when Shamrock?
Oh,
did
okay. So it's the Union, aka UPYOURS. Up yours. Or Union of People You Ought to Respect, son.
Highbrow.
Wait, where's the U?
What?
The Union of People You Ought to
UPYOURS. The Union of People You Ought to Respect, son.
You, mate.
With a stable consisting of former Corporation members Ken, Big Show, Test, and the leader Mankind. They were a face stable who rebelled against the corporate ministry. No idea.
I think we need to do a full episode on this.
Absolutely.
NWO Wolfpack against the Nexus.
Ooh,
Wolfpack, mate.
Yeah,
the Wolfpack is back causing mass destruction.
Yeah. The Shield versus the Truth Commission.
The Truth Commission.
They
were.
Is it Our Truth?
No.
I can Google that one as well for you boys. Don't you
Truth
worry.
Commission.
Who won that one?
It's the one that we know.
The Shield obviously went through that one.
Just checking, Rob. Just checking. Fucking hell.
Is the Core on there? They were crap.
The Core? Who were the Core? They were
Barrett.
Wasn't it? After the Nexus. Yeah.
And it was spelled Cork with 2 R's for some reason.
The
Core.
Oh, so the Truth Commission was a group from South Africa. The members were the Commandment, Kurgan the Interrogator, Recon, Sniper, Tank, and the Jackie.
Do you remember the Misfits? And that kid with the South Park thing on him.
All right, never mind me with the Truth Commission.
Sorry, I just thought because the Kurgan were in that and all.
No, they weren't the Misfits. We're getting onto the next actually.
Go on.
Evolution against the Oddities.
The Oddities, yes.
The Oddities is the one.
And they were basically like a special needs school, weren't they? That was the whole gimmick. Like, it was the 90s, it was a different time.
It was a different time.
Didn't they have Luna Vachon in there as well? It was like the only one who could actually do anything in the ring.
I think it might have been something like that.
Yeah, and a guy with a big mask on and carried around a big...
That was Kurgan.
Cuddly
Surprisingly,
Cartman.
the 90s was before my time, so I don't really know.
The Nation of Domination against the Social Outcasts.
Brilliant. Social Outcasts for me every day.
Why not? Why at this stage? Why not?
Well, Nation of Domination went through on that
obviously.
The Dangerous Alliance against the Heenan family.
Oh, Dangerous Alliance, I reckon. They were in the first War Games match. Steve Austin, Rick Rude, Paulie Dangerously.
Yeah.
Mate,
this is bullshit because these are two different. These are like different times that they're putting up against each other.
WCW, WWE, it's all the same.
Yeah, but like
shit.
no, but I mean like the Heenan family wasn't kind of going to be wrestling.
That Mr. Perfect?
It was. Yeah, who was it now?
Wasn't Rick Rude part of it as well?
Well, there was like loads of there was shitloads of members in the Heenan family, wasn't there?
Andre was Heenan.
He was in there for a bit, yeah.
So hang on. So yeah, oh wow. So the Heenan family was active between 1974 and 1993.
Forever then.
Bloody hell.
So apparently, the members.
That's a long time.
I'm not going to read them all out because there is that many. There was some members from the AWA. There was NWA Georgia members. There was WWA members, WWF members.
Anyone who worked with Bobby Heenan, basically.
So yeah, WWF consisted. I'll read out a few of the names that you might notice: Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, the Brainbusters, the Brooklyn Brawler, Holly Race, King Kong Bundy, Mr. Perfect, Ric Flair, Rick Rude.
I mean,
and a lot, like a shitload more. But I assume that will obviously be over time between 1974 and 1993.
Surely that faction's better then because everyone's in it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the best of all.
If you're looking at the wrestlers inside
it,
in theory, they should have won that round. But we'll take it on chin. We'll carry on.
Okay, so they didn't. So let's go back to the next slide. So Heart Foundation against the New Day.
Are we into quarters now?
We're into the quarter.
Heart Foundation.
No, we're into the second round.
Oh, it's not even the quarters yet. Jeez.
Heart Foundation.
Heart Foundation against the New Day.
Yeah.
Heart Foundation.
Obviously.
Yeah.
The Brood and the Wyatt family.
Wyatt family.
Wait, we did the Brood and the Wyatt family.
Yeah, the first one was the League of Nations against the Brood.
Right, yeah, got it.
I like the Wyatt family.
Yeah, me too.
I liked them.
I mean, I prefer the Brood, but I'm happy to give you the W on that one, lads.
Yeah, okay. You're gonna have to, aren't you? Who actually won it?
Wyatt family.
Yeah, okay.
4 Horsemen against Raven's Flock.
4 Horsemen.
Yeah, Horsemen.
Yeah. The original NWO against the Corporation.
NWO.
Has to be the NWO.
Has to be.
NWO. Has to be. There's no two ways about it. And we already know the winners, so I mean, yeah.
I forgot what Rob said because I wasn't listening to it.
Okay.
Stuff.
D-Generation X against the Alliance.
DX.
Yeah,
DX.
Absolutely.
DX. Yeah. Ministry of Darkness against the NWO Wolfpack.
Wolfpack.
Ooh.
Oh. Black and red forever, baby.
Mate, the main thing is you just never turn your back on the Wolfpack.
No, you might wind up in a body bag.
Yeah, Wolfpack.
Ministry of Darkness went through on that one.
Okay.
Well,
fuck them all.
The Shield against this will alert you. This one, the Shield versus Evolution.
Evolution, mate. 100%. It's a mystery full of changes no one sees. How can the Shield beat something that no one sees?
Mate, it's time to draw a line in the sand and find out who I am.
Well, I'm swearing a lot on this one. I'm just getting really excited.
It's fine, mate.
The Shield,
so much fun.
The Shield went through on that one.
Of course they fucking.
I would have picked Evolution. That's a tough matchup.
Evolution. I don't know. I've got so high, but it's Evolution.
Nation of Domination against the Dangerous Alliance.
Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Nation of Domination.
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of WWE's head now.
Okay. Next side. So this is quarterfinals now.
Quarters.
Heart Foundation against the Wyatt family.
Hearts.
Yeah, 100%. 4 Horsemen against NWO Original.
Oh, this is big.
So what? Hogan, Nash,
and Hall
against Anderson, Tully,
Flair,
and
what's his name? Who was the
Arn and
fourth
Tully?
man?
No, Tully Blanchard, Arn and Ole.
Oh,
Arn
yes,
Ole,
yeah. Ooh.
I'd say probably it's NWO.
For me personally, NWO, but
mate, the black and white, the pythons, the spraying and everything.
It was wicked. NWO win that one?
Yeah, NWO went through. DX versus the Ministry of Darkness.
DX.
Yeah.
As good as Ministry of Darkness were, they didn't. They weren't
they weren't brilliant for
that
me,
long.
Yeah,
just Undertaker was in winning, and so
yeah.
The Shield versus Nation of Domination.
Shield
every day. So now we're in the semi-final. Heart Foundation against NWO.
It's all to play for now.
It's NWO, mate.
It has to be NWO.
Yeah. DX against the Shield.
DX.
Yeah, it's got to be DX.
So that sets us up with a DX and NWO original
For
final.
me, it's the NWO. They were the originators.
This is it. So now that I've thought about it, to me personally, I grew up watching DX, so for me it's DX.
It's the NWO for me.
Yeah, I never.
For life.
I never really liked WCW, so it probably would be DX for me as well. So we kind of agreed with most of this, which probably says more that we've.
I don't agree with the first rounds. I don't agree with the entire thing as a whole, mate. I think the way, whoever made this basically got told by Triple H to make a faction list.
What's your favourite faction, Ethan?
Oh, that's a great question. I probably should have thought of the answer to this before we start an episode.
When did they make this? Because why aren't the Undisputed Era on there?
This is a couple of years ago.
Oh, right, fair.
So for me, to be fair, for me, it's probably got to be Evolution. All things considered,
I'd say for me, it's probably Evolution as well.
All things considered, I think it's Evolution just because of the members that were in it. And just the way they carried themselves in the original run.
Yeah, there's a good actually little bit about it here where it's Evolution was probably the most dominant faction of the noughties and helped launch the career of two superstars, consolidate the dominant career of another, and breathing new life into a fourth member.
Absolutely,
it's probably the most bang-on thing you could say about it.
Shovel sales were an all-time.
God,
the burials, mate.
The biggest.
I hated Triple H so much, but I loved Batista and I loved Ric Flair, but I also hated Randy Orton. So it's weird. It was a faction.
It's half and half, isn't it?
I hated two of them, loved two of them. Such a weird balance.
Yeah, for me, it's like when they came back for the 1000th episode of SmackDown. Was it SmackDown?
Yeah.
When they came out, I was thinking, I don't want to see Ric Flair in the ring again, but they could still be a faction with Triple H, Randy, and Batista wrestling, and Ric Flair as like a manager. It'd be the greatest thing of all time. It'd be incredible.
A few people,
it'd be amazing.
Strut about.
It'd be, and he still takes. He's going to bump in like the WrestleMania match, isn't he?
He'll be
with
bumping.
Becky and
He'll be bumping.
Was it Becky and Charlotte in that?
Yeah.
WrestleMania match. Yeah. They could still be around, which is to me fascinating. Who was the original guy in Evolution that they dropped out of it?
Was it Jindrak? Mark Jindrak?
It might have been Mark Jindrak.
Or was it Sean Stasiak?
It was some guy that was a generic
Sean
big
O'Hare?
man.
One of them. Know. It was one of them three. Because there's a lot of footage of him in the original videos wearing a suit, and he just
he's like doing promos and he's like walking out. It is Mark Jindrak.
And
then Batista replaced him for Mark Jindrak. That's fascinating. Like I said, they made promos with him walking with them, like in these big suits, and then they just got rid of it. They were like,
it doesn't work.
About a year ago, when Samoa Joe kind of debuted on Raw, where it was a bit where Triple H was kind of feuding with Seth Rollins, and Triple H brought in Samoa Joe, and at that time it was like, what if they do a new Evolution?
With like hand, wasn't it?
Yeah, with like Triple H kind of takes the Ric Flair mantle of the older mentor one, and you bring in sort of.
It's a good idea.
Do you know what I mean? Samoa Joe. I think at the time, I remember we was talking about it, and we were like, what if they brought in like, so Triple H moves into that Ric Flair bit, and they bring Samoa Joe in. What if they get Charlotte in, because she was a massive heel at the time? That'd be perfect or something like that.
I always wanted to do a faction around Charlotte where it's like the Four Horsemen, and you could have the Revival as kind of like Tully and Oli, and then maybe like somebody else, like an AJ Styles or something, as the kind of the ace of the team. And it could be good because they could captain it with a woman at the helm as the Ric Flair, and she's in charge. But then she has all these other like guys doing her bidding, and it would kind of help. Because at some point we're going to see, and I mean maybe we won't, but I think we're going to see intergender wrestling on the WWE. I think when
Candice LeRae gets onto like proper NXT television, she will pioneer intergender wrestling
100%.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But
we're going to see it.
Yeah, I hope it happens at some point because it'd be fucking brilliant if it like.
It's just weird how far you're going
to
push
mainstream wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to happen in the back of the day. Like, they'd never actual matches against each other, but they'd always like take chair shots or big bumps and stuff.
We might see it in NXT first, maybe.
It's gonna be wicked to see a woman get hit. That came out. That was one of the worst. I didn't mean it in that way. That came out in the worst.
I think what Ethan's trying to say is it'd be great to see a woman wrestling a style that is more what we want to see.
No. I mean,
you actually just want to see her get hit.
Yeah, because it's not happened in how long? 10 years?
20 years.
Long time. Like, what if Candice LeRae? What if? I don't want to see a woman get hurt by a man. But what if Gargano and Ciampa were still feuding, and they had a big match, no DQ, and Ciampa's got a chair.
Just
Candice LeRae jumps into the ring, shoves Doggo out of the way, and he just cracks her with a chair, and then he just carries on hitting her, and that'd just be fucking brilliant. Like, it'd be incredible. Like, imagine the heat.
You seen that?
The heat that he would get.
That one of Austin just wailing on Lita.
Yeah,
like
he beat the shit out of her back in the day.
And it's not like people are gonna cheer it.
No, but they booed him. They booed the hell out of him. It was perfect. Like, it gets you so much heat, and because we've not seen it in like, it's like, but when CM Punk did a pile driver to John Cena, we've not seen a pile driver in WWE in God knows how long. Yeah. That move was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible.
Women get 10 bells knocked out of them in Coronation Street all the time.
Absolutely, all the time.
And it's not real, as everyone is so frequent to remind us.
Exactly, so frequent to tell us that it isn't real. But
then suddenly it's just like, it's disgraceful, and a man hitting a ball on stage chair. It's like, mate, he's not bloody...
When you talk like that, you got to get like really fat and like make your mouth really open and
you got to turn into Alex Jones.
Yeah, no, it'd be wicked. It'd be wicked. I hope that it happens at some point. Definitely. Yeah. But yeah, like you're saying, an intergender faction would be crazy. Like, that'd be wicked.
Yeah, that would be good.
I don't know how they work it in for like storylines, because a woman can't really mad at a man because they're not going to be wrestling for anything, are they, in particular? But
you'd have to have a big.
There'd be no like reason.
You can't just have like 4 of them.
No, you'd have to be pretty.
You'd have to be like 6,
sized.
7, maybe 8 of them.
They should do a football hooligan faction called the Firm.
The Firm.
And they're just a bunch of absolute
lads,
rowdy hooligans.
Bunch of boys in the Fred Perry and Stone Island.
Yeah, and the Gazelles.
And the CP and the
straight out the terraces, just smashing people in with like beer bottles and stuff.
It could happen though. Like
Progress should do it.
They could get like Pete Dunne, Zach Gibson, like James Drake, a few lads. Put them in some nice like Burberry.
Flash Morgan Webster.
Put them in some Burberry and bring them out and have them with cans of Stella in their hands.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because all those guys are signed to WWE, if they do not eventually sign them to some kind of, you're right, you're all British, so you all need to be together kind of thing.
You're all from a certain place.
Yeah.
Let's put you together.
Cultural appropriation is what it's called.
Vince loves it.
He loves doing that.
He does love that.
Modern day factions, we talked about Undisputed Era, probably one of the bigger ones at the minute.
Yeah,
probably the best faction in the company. I mean, there's
not a lot of competition. No, they are.
They've moved away from faction wrestling, really, haven't they?
It's weird because they do like the new. I mean, the New Day you class as a tag team rather than that, and they even have this sort of
3 of them, isn't there? So it's
pretty strong style of faction. They're more just like a 3-person tag team.
And they do this thing, don't they? With like like New Day will win the titles and they can decide between the Freebird rule, but
there's only 3 of them though.
Yeah, no, but why not? Why have they not done that with the Shield? Like if the Shield, so
they never freebirded, did
they? They never freebirded
the
titles.
The New Day was the pioneers of the freebird.
Bringing it back. Bringing it back.
But why not extend it? Why not just have one?
Because the Shield was before.
Demolition held the title at Freebird rule. Axe Smash and
When
Crush.
was that?
Like 1993 or something.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. New Day was the first in God knows how long that brought the rule back. And obviously they were after the Shield, so...
For me, you need... Once you hit 4, you're a faction / stable.
So yeah, it's 3 tag team.
Big tag team.
3 tag team, 4 stable faction. No, yeah, but I guess... At the time... I mean, the Shield were around when you did.
Only 3 of the original NWO, though, weren't there?
Yes.
I suppose it's how you carry yourself.
You see, the thing with the NWO and what got daft about it was...
Everyone were in it.
Anyone fancied it. Come on, lads.
There was a point where
chuck your t-shirt on.
It was only Sting who wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And that's when, and then you've got all these other factions
Jeff
that
Jarrett
break
were in
away.
The bloody Bullet Club only about a year ago.
It's just that's what kind of spoiled it a little bit. Where I don't really feel like it's 4 guys taking someone else on. It's now 20 people, and it's the same. I mean, we've seen the split recently, but it's the same with the Bullet Club. How many people are in there before
it's the same with any of them. Chaos is massive. Bullet Club's massive. Like, they're all huge.
Even though the Elite have broken away, there's still 5 or 6 of them that are involved in that.
A lot of the time, when you get to a certain point and it gets so big, you realise you're not going to get any bigger. It becomes a point of where, how can we get someone who may have just been a mid-carder, a bit of a cheeky rub, and see if we can launch them into something a bit bigger. Just bang a t-shirt on them and go, there you go, you live off that for 6 months, there's a few royalties for you.
Yeah.
I suppose Marty Scurll was probably the last true successful Bullet Club member, because he obviously did all his t-shirts up in Bullet Club style, and
he did.
I think they've got a few, the Bullet Club OGs have got that Australian kid, so what's his
Jay White.
No, there's a new one, Summit Eagle or something like that.
I think.
Oh, we're back on New Japan again, boys.
Every single time we talk about Jay White.
There's too much
He ain't Australian.
There was a New Japan show last night,
Nah.
They just happen all the time. They never stop, mate. They're relentless.
It's like a football season. It's literally like a football season.
Yeah, they're relentless. No, I think
with cup matches in it and everything.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
I'm still irrationally angry at whoever made that fucking tournament that WWE put out. I'm not letting it go. It's ridiculous. They gifted DX the win.
Well, at least the Shield didn't go over.
Well, that's true.
I mean, we can't really say anything about the Shield anymore.
Why?
Well, all that.
What?
Roman, innit? It's not very nice. Not very kind, is it?
I can still say that they always won.
All you can say about
have.
Roman is your prayers. So stop it. So stop it now.
Right, okay. I apologise.
Good lad. Love you.
Love you too. What was the little faction that Triple H had with Randy? Was it just him and Randy and Kane when they were feuding with the Shield?
The Authority.
The
Authority. That was the name for it.
The Authority.
That shit house that they had for about
Corporate
3
Kane.
years. It just never ended. Corporate Kane with his slacks on. With his black work trousers.
Mate, Aces and Eights.
Who?
Aces and Eights from TNA back in the day.
I don't watch
they
TNA.
were great.
Never watched
Bully
TNA.
Ray, when he was wearing that chain around his neck.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
I'll tell you what I did like about the Authority was when Sting had his little tiny WWE run.
That was cool.
And there's a little bit where I think Randy's in the ring and the Authority have sort of turned on him and they're all just about to get in the ring to lever him and all the lights go out and you can hear the crow thing from Sting's music. It comes back on and he's just stood there in the ring with the bat and he's just looking at him. And
surreal to think that even happened, isn't it?
Everyone just went mad. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was good.
That was the best thing about the Authority was Sting who wasn't in it.
What's the worst faction?
Ooh.
Right, Main Event Mafia.
Yeah, it's
when they just brought in Kevin Nash, Booker T, Kurt Angle, and they had all the belts.
I only know of them because of how awful they were.
Ridiculous.
I can't think of any bad factions.
There
never really is any bad factions.
There weren't really a faction.
Maybe fucking whoever we were talking about earlier that lasted for 4 days. Fucking whoever they were.
The worst.
The Up Yours. The UPYORUS.
The Union.
The Union.
I don't think they really were a faction, but when JR turned heel and he brought back fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Embarrassing. I would tell Glenn Jacobs, bless him, he's been stuck with some horrible gimmicks.
To use his real name for.
Yes, he's the mayor. He's the
Is
mayor.
that what it is? How it works now.
Give him some
Give
respect.
him some
He's a politician.
Eating a cheeseburger made out of
I saw that
cheese
photo.
sandwich.
That was a wicked photo. You look like you're about to explode.
He had like 2 grilled cheese sandwiches instead of burger buns
Yeah.
with a big slab of meat in the middle of it.
You look like you're about to burst, bless him.
I think it was I think it was at Super Showdown rather than Crown Jewel. But there was a section where Kane is outside and he just looks at Shawn Michaels and Kane just points to his own chin.
Yeah.
And then Shawn Michaels gives him a super kick. I'm like, oh god.
That was pretty
Even
rough.
Ray Charles could have seen that one coming.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa!
Mate, he's just said Stevie Wonder because he's not blind. We can talk about that in a different episode.
It's just your conspiracy.
Stop this now.
He's definitely not blind, but
I've seen a photo of Stevie Wonder taking a photo. Now explain that to me.
have you seen the video of Stevie Wonder catching a mic pole when it's falling?
Right.
Have you seen that video?
That is right.
Have you seen that video?
That's
They're all on
massive
stage.
conspiracy.
They're on stage in like the White House, and they're all singing, having a good time, laughing and joking, and they're all singing a big sing along. And the mic stand just slowly tops over, and Stevie Wonder sticks his hand out and catches it, then stands it back up and carries on singing.
Was his microphone on it?
No,
Oh, okay.
there's nothing on it.
Why would you have a microphone with nothing on it?
Because he took the mic off and they were like walking around singing. He's not blind. But anyway, back to wrestling. I was going to say, one thing that I did like about, just at one moment, nothing to do with the faction itself, was when it was probably between pay-per-views, the Authority versus Shield, when they were trying to, Triple H was trying to keep them apart from fighting each other, and then, he's pushing Randy away, and then Randy just, jumps past him and RKOs, I think, Seth Rollins.
Oh, he's right.
And then the camera just zooms in on Triple H's face. He just looks really disappointed. He's just staring off into space. It's just so funny.
Someone said it's like
for
when
God's
your dog
sake,
gets off a lead.
Yeah, it's like,
dog.
for God's sake, Randy. He's just looks right annoyed
I'll
about
put
it.
that on
It's just,
Instagram tonight.
yeah,
I'll find
it's absolutely hilarious.
Right, good.
No,
Very good.
it's wicked. I can't think of a bad stable in WWE.
Kai and Tai.
Who?
Chopper your pee.
Yeah.
It's like they just got all the Chinese ones
Yeah,
and
just
Japanese
put
ones
them
together
together.
and went, "You'll all be friends."
Yeah.
And then they had them try and
Yeah,
rip Val Venus's cock off
They did
with
try and do that.
samurai sword.
that was pretty funny. No, there's nothing. But again, in that
It's all
faction,
good. It's all funny.
there was still
We
some
probably
the thing
probably
is with
that
factions,
bad we just don't remember him.
yeah. probably is. There's probably a lot that we don't even know about because we just don't remember it actually existing. But for most of the factions, even if they were kind of bad, there was always at least one wicked wrestler in it.
That broke out. Yeah.
Like there's like Nation Domination, like
Sanity.
Nobody
remembers them.
Yeah,
you know?
Sanity. Yeah.
But like
and actually a intergender faction as well.
Yeah,
it
with
was.
Nikki
You're
Cross.
right, Nikki Cross in a leather mill. Yeah.
Good.
She's decent.
Really good.
She's a good wrestler. But no, like I mean, like you look about like Nation Domination, The Rock, obviously.
Yeah.
Mint wrestler.
Ron Simmons.
And yeah, but again, that's what I'm saying. Like D'Lo, Rod, they were all right, but Rock was like shit
Rock
to
was
me.
a standout.
It was wicked.
Definitely.
You look back at NWO, obviously Hulk, biggest star of all time in that. Again, Nash and Hulk, nothing against them, still wicked wrestlers, but nothing major. Original DX, Triple H or Shawn Michaels. You don't really like think about X-Pac or Billy Gunn or anything like that because they were alright.
You always have people left by the way. And like Bullet Club, like you got Balor who just completely took off.
Yeah, AJ.
And, and now you've got Kenny and the guys. Bullet Club's weird because it feels like people just use the Bullet Club and then skyrocket off. And it just stays there.
Yeah, and I said there's always in a faction. You've always it feels like they build it around one main person.
Yeah.
But then again, you have like the New Day, who I would say are all on pretty much equal playing field.
Tell you one that I remember from, and you forget that they probably were a faction in the start, but the Dudley Boys when there was about 6 of them.
Yeah, they used to be a full family, didn't they?
There used to be loads of them.
Yeah.
Loads of them.
Yeah.
There's loads like that. Sorry, I took it to Mike 'cause I'm a professional. There's loads like that you forget about. But again, there's just too much. There's too many.
I've always wanted Heyman to kind of bring back the Dangerous Alliance type thing because he's got that. I mean, he's always. I mean, now he's just Brock exclusive, but I feel like when Brock finally does leave the picture, if he's still around, he has got that scope to maybe be a kind of manager for a stable again.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to have a stable with a mouthpiece.
Always.
Because then it feels like there's one person.
Bring Cornette back. Give him a racket.
I was begging for this.
Yeah,
I
love it. Cornette and Heyman are great because they make the others who are in the faction look stronger by not having to say anything.
Yeah.
Brock is arguably stronger now because he doesn't do promos.
Yeah, I always thought for the past not now because it's too late, but back in when Brock finally came back full time, they should have built a faction around him.
Yeah.
Because then when he isn't there for fucking 8,000 days out of the year, you can at least have the other part of the faction doing his bidding or like doing Heyman's work, like representing the faction. And when you just got one person like Brock, and it's just like Heyman comes out and he's like, my client isn't here tonight, so why am I really here? But you could have been like, my client Brock Lesnar isn't here tonight, but whoever it is, and then they can come out and do the big.
It would be great. I'd like to see Heyman have somebody else who's like a Paul Heyman guy, I think, as well. That'd be great.
It's been a long time, hasn't it, since we've had one. You obviously had Curtis Axel, and then you had
Punk as well.
Can maybe benefit someone in NXT who's like good, but just doesn't have the
mouthpiece,
or doesn't have the power to. I mean, maybe someone like Lars Sullivan's a good talker, though. You know, it's
but he doesn't have to be. He can just be there and be big and strong and let Heyman do his work for him, which is what makes Brock work so well in this day and age compared to what he was like. So
I'd say Heyman, Cornette, Heenan, all those guys just carried their kind of factions. Really, I
swear that Heyman was the inspiration or a big part of inspiration for Better Call Saul back in the day when he was just this man who was just moving between everyone, giving a card out. He's got his big phone in him all the time.
You ever watch you ever hear the story about when Cornette was like in the bad books with Heyman?
Yeah.
And was it Kevin Sullivan? No. There was somebody that had like been upset by Paul Heyman. Like Paul Heyman had upset them or not paid them or something like that.
It was when he was just.
It was ECW days, and he was like, and apparently he got in. I think Jim Cornette had said something bad about Heyman, so Heyman called him. Heyman asked him to do a run-in on ECW, to like do a run-in, trying to get some heat, and Jim Cornette was like, I don't want to do it. And he's like, please, we have a surprise every show. We need a surprise. We need you. We need to do something. So I think Cornette was like, all right, I don't want paying. I don't want any money. I just want you. I'll bring whoever it was. Probably bad that I don't remember. I'll bring whoever it was with me. Just shake the hand. Bygones be bygones. Let it go. And him was like, all right, fine. So he sent a limo to pick up Jim Cornette and this guy. They drove to like Horton's, I think it was a steakhouse, like a really posh steakhouse in America. The bill was all on him, and like they had like a really good meal. They drove the limo to the venue, to the ballroom, parked it up inside, so nobody even knew they were there. they literally kept like, I think Cornette wanted to like go backstage, and him was like, no, you got to stay in the car. You can't come out. So we can't have anybody like leaking this. It's got to be big. So they kept him in the car to the very end of the show. Him and Cornette runs into the ring. The lights go down. Heyman's there. Cornette's there. Beats the shit out of somebody with a racket. Beating quite a few out of the racket. Points to where Heyman is, like, says "fuck you," like throws the middle fingers up to him. Jumps out, runs through the crowd, and as he's running back to the car, Heyman's there. He sees Heyman shaking hands with a guy that is like, had upset, and he's like, let's bygones be bygones, we're friends now. And then as he's running past, he shakes Cornette's hand and slaps an envelope in his hand, and it had like $800 in cash in it, something like that. And he like threw it in his hand, shoved him into the limo sped off, and it was like in the space of an hour, Paul Heyman had like he'd absolved all these sins of these two people that hated him, and then apparently like a week later he was back on like a talk show or radio saying like, fuck these two people and like fuck this guy, and like just going straight back into him again. Like he made all these bridges and then just burned him down immediately afterwards. But like you say, it is literally like Better Call Saul. Like he was just a maniacal
inside everything
man that was just everywhere at any time, and it could always get out of a situation no matter what. And he can still do it in the way he talks, and you can tell that he knows what he's talking about because of the experience that he's lived. And it's like, that would be wicked for a big faction to be behind him in today's day and age, to have him just talking for you. Like, you'd be golden. You wouldn't have anything to worry 100%. About if you had him just hyping you up. Like, what more could you want? I've seen him hanging around with Becky Lynch a lot backstage and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like mentoring or anything like that.
He gives advice to her.
He gives advice to a lot of people. But what if, when Brock leaves, what if he becomes her mouthpiece?
I would love it if Becky Lynch comes out in a t-shirt that says, "I'm a Paul Heyman guy."
Imagine.
Not a Paul Heyman girl. I'm a Paul Heyman guy on it.
Because she's the man.
And tile the man stuff in. That'd be mint. It'd be cool if he'd like brought 4 guys from NXT up. I don't know who that would be, because they're all pretty solid on their own at the minute. But that'd be cool. Almost a bit like what the Nexus Corcan was a similar kind of thing. This invasion of these kind of new people. But that'd be cool.
It's rife for them to have, rather than Survivor Series being Raw SmackDown, have Survivor Series where it's WWE versus NXT. Have that as a one. Because I mean, let's be honest, you see these Raw SmackDown matches all the time. He'll never win it. A lot of the time they'll get buried, but there'll be a lot of space for NXT to go over.
Oh, massively.
Like a lot of space. And if it's multi-man,
it sucks because they bring like these factions that exist in NXT get split up when they come to the main roster. I always wonder why. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Were they brought
what the thought process behind
why
it
did they not bring Nikki Cross?
Makes sense.
Well.
No, I don't. And I get they have plans. They have plans for her,
but they've not done anything with Sanity.
No, and it's the same with. I mean, they took Paul Ellering off of.
Because that wasn't his choice. He was happy to AOP. AOP. He was happy. I know they're not a faction, a tag team.
No, but
he was happy to stay with them.
Yeah, he wanted
when
to.
they got called up, he was like, "I don't mind doing the travelling. It's fine. I'm up for it." He wanted to do it.
He was their kind of like their mouthpiece. And he worked wicked for him.
They said the story sort of backstage was. They just felt, well, we don't need you to hype them because they're these massive lads. They'll get over on their own.
Fucking Drake Maverick coming out dressed the same as them, and it's just like, what are you?
And I don't get that thing with Drake Maverick because he's not. He's not the same Drake Maverick that's kind of running 205 Live as the general manager.
Two different characters.
Two different characters.
Surely there's other people who aren't getting on TV.
That could be in that
do you want to manage him? You could even have someone like Ty Dillinger and go, do you want to manage him? And like you can have an occasional match with him. Yeah. Like at least you're getting on TV. It just seems like such a waste.
Waste of talent, isn't it?
Yeah. There's loads of holes in it, but here's hoping to pick it up soon.
Too many holes.
But the big point we've missed is none of these factions are quite as good as the Staring at the Lights boys. The hottest faction in pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, faction. There's only 3 of us.
Mate, we're wherever we want to be.
A big tag team.
We've got our kid in it and all. He's behind the scenes,
our
pulling
kid
the
rocks
strings.
Up. When needed, our kid rocks up.
That's it.
No, man.
He's the game changer.
It's wicked. Are we on time?
Yeah.
Right. Sound. Thanks for listening. In the meantime, before the next amazing episode comes out, you can catch us at The Lights Pod on Twitter, at Staring at the Lights on Instagram. We write a lot of pieces for rgm.press, Rate Good Magazine. You can catch us out there. So, yeah, thanks for listening.